Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the webinar and thank you for being part of our tour of the Fit and Fun game for Deborah's team. We're going to have a good time today, and I'm going to share kind of a two-part webinar as we get started here. I'm going to share a little bit of the foundation of why we even built the Fit Fun game and why it is important to your business. And after I share that foundation, I'll open up for some questions and answers about that, and then we'll move into actually taking you into the website and showing you how easy it is to use and how powerful of a tool it can be for helping build your Isogenics business. Many of us just got back from the celebration, and wow, what a phenomenal event that was. Really seeing all the exciting announcements and things going on within Isogenics. I just can't wait for this next year ahead. So we'll jump right in. Gamplify is my company. It's my software company. As I was talking to Atsuko as we were coming on to the beginning of the webinar, I've been developing systems and software in the direct sales industry for over a decade now. And Gamplify is our most recent iteration of technology. And Gamplify is the kind of technology behind the Fit and Fun game, a game designed specifically for Isogenics, for your Isogenics business, for helping not only Isogenics representatives and associates, but also to work with your consultants as well, which is really, really important to be able to work with your new cleansers and people that are getting started as well. Oscar, we were talking. My name is Kyle Newton again. I'm the designer and architect. I've been having fun in this industry for 10 years, and that's really important to me, to really enjoy what we're doing as we get involved with this. So let's frame it up here just a little bit. One of the first things I want to share with you guys as we get started is no matter what system you use in direct sales, you're the star. And you always have to be the star of your own direct sales business. And so we're going to look at a way to use technology, a way to use the game, a way to really leverage your business. But at the heart of your business is you. Your dreams, your intention, the clarity, the certainty, the confidence, the conviction, the credibility that you have about this business is really what's going to make it successful. Tools will help. The Fit Fun game will help, but it will never replace you because you're the star of your business. Now, this part of the presentation I love to call the now what presentation because you just started your direct sales business. Some of you, Osco, you've been in for 9 months. Amy, I think you're relatively new. And of course, we're constantly having new people come on to our teams. And now that you've come on to direct sales, pretend this was your first day, if it isn't, or close to your first day. Now what? Now what do you do to get your direct sales business going? It's kind of like having a baby. I don't know how many of you on the line have had a baby, and you're maybe a young couple or whatever, and that brilliant day in the hospital when that little baby boy or girl was born, and all of a sudden you've got to carry this child out of the hospital. And the question is, whoa, where's the manual for this thing? This thing is complicated. And the question is, now what do I do with this? And just like the picture on the screen, Elvis, not 100% sure he knew what to do with that little baby as he was rolling out of the hospital. But now that you've enrolled someone, and this is the question we want to ask ourselves and answer. Now that you've enrolled your first person, your second person, your third person, maybe your 10th or 20th person into Isogenics, now what? Deborah and I were talking. I mean, she is an enrolling rock star. I mean, she is just a machine. The question is, once you enroll someone, now what? Now, if you don't have a good answer to what you do, and let me just ask that question. What do you do right now when you enroll someone? Do you have a written path or a plan, that you lead someone down? Is there an ABC and 1, 2, 3 process to get them using the cleanse and the 9-day system or the 28-day system? Or, how do you get them actually moving towards building a business? Do you have a great answer for that? Well, if you don't feel bad. Don't be shy, because I have found over my decade of experience in research in the direct sales industry is that 95% of the people in direct sales absolutely do not have a clue what to do when they enroll new people. I mean, yeah, they'll get their product and make sure their product arrives and maybe point them to a website or a conference call, but to have a really clear path to give people to follow to be successful in both using the product and also in building a business, 95% of people just don't have that answer. And the problem is there's not a path, right? There's not really a place and a direction to follow. And let me ask you, do you have a written plan? Do you have a document or a process via which when your new team members come on, no matter whether they're kind of focusing on the product, and they're going to cleanse, and they're saying, well, I don't really want to work the business. Okay, well, let's cleanse, and let's get you on a 9-day or a 28-day program, something like that. Or they want to cleanse and build a business. Do you have a path? And what I found is that most of the time people don't. Now, if you do have a path, here's my next question. Of the people who do have a path or a system to lead people down, how many of those people that you introduce that path to actually follow it? And don't be surprised if most people would say, not a lot. Sometimes people just don't really follow the path. And that's not really unusual either. There's this great book, great quote from one of books that I love so much, and it says, "Where there's no path, my people wander or perish." And I know Deborah's calling in, so she doesn't see the screen, but on the screen is a picture of this desert with a man walking way out in the middle of the desert. And sometimes we feel that way, right? That's us out in the middle of the desert. We just feel kind of lost. What's next? What do we do? How do we get us, get ourselves oriented? And then sometimes we feel like that's people on our team, right? Where did they go? They're out wandering around in the business. So, where did they go? I thought they were going to really, set the world on fire. And so one of the things we really want to do is develop a path. And that's what the Fit Fun game is all about. Giving you a path that you can follow and a path that you can easily give others to follow, no matter whether they're focusing more on the product side and getting a weight or a fitness or a overall health result, or whether they're also going for a financial result as well. And as I've looked in the past, there's really kind of two options. I'm a fan of like old school TV, and on the screen, there's Monty Hall and Let's Make a Deal, and there's always, door number one and door number two. And there's always two options you can think about when you're looking at, are you going to develop a system to run your business, or are you not going to develop a system to run your business? And behind door number one is, a hippie, right? Screw the system, screw the structured path. I got in this business to be free and my own boss. Let's just have fun and party and make a lot of money. I mean, that's always an option. It's always right there behind door number one. And then there's the second option right behind door number two, which is let's all follow the system and become like Nazis. Let's make sure everybody makes the call and do it this way and this way and this way. And if you deviate from the path, we'll destroy you. Of course, I'm being a little bit tongue in cheek here, but there's always those two options. We can either be very personal and free and just kind of be willy-nilly with it, or we can go way over to the other extreme and get too systems oriented. Behind door number one, which is, being kind of free. I love this little rabbit. My daughter has a shirt like this with a little rabbit on it. It says, "It's all about me, so deal with it." That's kind of one of the aspects. And sometimes people bring that attitude and that desire to the business where it's more about them than it is about building the team. And I'm not meaning it from a negative standpoint. It's just, maybe they've never been system oriented. They've been kind of a solopreneur and an independent operator, and that's fine. And a lot of people like that can make a lot of money in this industry. The only challenge is that you get on a recruiting treadmill that you really can't get off because there's no system following up behind you to teach people how to use the product, to teach others to build the business the same way you're building the business, and it becomes kind of like a recruiting treadmill. On the other side, people get way too systems oriented and they kind of handcuff themselves to the system. There's no freedom, there's no flexibility, there's no fun in the system. It seems really overbearing and heavy-handed and kind of big brotherish. And so we don't want to go in either one of those traps, much less systems are really difficult to implement successfully in the direct sales arena because we're all cats. And have you ever tried to herd cats? You don't see a herd of cats, out west, right? Cows you can herd. Cats, very difficult to corral. And so as we're building teams of entrepreneurs who have their own spirits, their own identities, their own desires, their own personalities, how do we develop a system, a way, a path that we can help them have maximum success? And I turn to Michael Gerber in E-Myth. He's one of my all-time favorite authors, and he wrote, what every successful entrepreneur should know, which is the E-Myth. And it's the myth and the science behind why most small businesses fail. And guys, we're small businesses, right? I mean, we're individual entrepreneurs who are going out and finding other individual entrepreneurs and hopefully finding enough and helping enough become successful that we can make a great income and really impact this world for health. And so in this book, Michael kind of proposes there's two options that we can go down. We can build our business around our own personality and be personality centered, or We can build a business around the system and be system centered. And what his research found was that system centered businesses profited way more and were way more successful than personality centered. And here's why. At the celebration, they did the colors. I'm big into personality tests. I do a lot of assessments and do a lot of personal training and personal development. So, there's these four personalities that you can bring to your business, both in how you run it and how you lead your team. There's the red or the driver. And oftentimes, while great leaders very get a lot done, they push, they lead, they charge, they're holding the meetings. On the other side of it, they can be a little bit overbearing at times, and their teams don't follow them very well because it can be very rigid, their way or no way. Then there's the influencers, the yellows. Man, they're fun, they're charismatic, they're dynamic. I think Amy's a yellow. I mean, just loves to party. I mean, surfing behind a boat. Come on, that's a major influencer kind of thing, and they're just so fun. They attract tons of people to them. But oftentimes, in the wake of that, there's not a lot of organization. Sometimes things fall through. And so it's a big party, but sometimes there's not all the structure around it. Then there's the conscientious, the blue. I mean, they're really thinking through the systems. I happen to be conscientious, but we can kind of get in this fog of the detail, information overload, analysis paralysis. And then there's the supporter or the white who is great. They're there all the time. They're waiting for their buddy to join them by the campfire, but they're not really overly motivated, right? You feel like you got to prod them along sometimes. So we have all of this personalities, both in how we build our business, the types of people we attract, how we work our business. All of this is going, and this is why personality-centered businesses, if they're geared specifically just around you and your skill set, it may work for a small group of people, but it's hard to build a large team just around your personality because there's so many different types and so many different ways. Now, on the flip side, as far as system centered, systems can become so complicated, so burdensome, so taxing that they're not any fun to actually even engage with. It's like what's on the screen there. If you can work out where you're at, then you shouldn't be here, right? There's a Mensa organization and there's this huge puzzle, right? And I've been guilty in the past of creating systems that were so complicated that they were just too hard to use. They weren't really fun. They weren't really engaging. They had all the right tools in them, but we just couldn't really create the level of engagement. And so I took a clue from Mary Poppins, who has that great song, a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. And what I really want to share right here is that I really believe your business needs to be system centered, but those systems need to be fun. They need to be able to engage all four types of personalities. They need to really engage from the person that's just starting with their cleanse and wanting health benefit, all the way up to the person that wants to be a crystal executive, a 4 or 5 star crystal executive, and everything in between. And so the game environment is the sugar, right? And the medicine is the system. It's the thing that actually helps us get successful and really move us forward because games empower us to have more fun. I mean, just think about it. When you play games, when you go out and recreate, it's fun. It's something that you want to do. It's something that you're compelled to do. It's something that you do on a regular basis. What if we can make running your Isogenics business, helping people go through the cleanse, building your home-based business fun? Well, we think we've solved the problem. We've done it with games because the games actually give us that path. It gives us a track to run on, both in our recruiting and our retention, both in how we go out and gather new consultants and new people on our team, and then how we retain them on our team on auto ship month after month. The games give us that path, that clarity, that track to run on. And you'll see this as we go into the portal here in just a minute. I'm not talking about Atari. I'm not talking about internet games. I'm not talking about Monopoly and board games. I'm also not talking about people who love to play games. Guys, I'm not a big game player. I don't sit around and play social games. I don't play online games. I play a little Xbox with my son just because it's a bonding thing. But, I like to go out and recreate. I like to get behind a boat and water ski. And I'll have to try surfing one of these days. But I'm not a big game player, yet I can be competitive. And so the games are about engagement. And the type of game that we're building is a game around the products that Isogenics offers, around the business opportunity, and around training up others around your business. And we use some fundamental tools, which I'll take you through here in just a moment. We use scorecards where each day you and your new cleansers and your team that's building the financial game as well are logging in and checking off points, gaining points. I mean, think about when you play golf. You get points every time, it's 4 strokes or 4 points, right? And the idea in that game is to get as few points as possible, right? And so most games have a point system. This game has a point system, and you'll see it in just a moment. Points for taking your cleanse, your ionics, your shakes, doing deep cleanse days, getting the right amount of sleep and exercise, and all of these different types of health and wellness activities. And then I'm going to show you the financial games as well. There's points and games built around building your business. Are you making contacts each day? Are you following up? Are you using the game portal to help build your business and coach other people through the cleanse? The scorecards literally become a checklist of success that you can do each day. And guys, I showed this to Deborah on the call the other day. The team rosters are literally the hidden key to this whole system. On your team roster, you're going to be able to see how your other team members are doing. So A, you can encourage them, or B, you can celebrate with them. You can encourage them along if they're running behind. You can celebrate with them if they're just knocking it out of the park, and you can see how many points they have and how many days they've got their points entered. And we'll look at this here a little bit more in just a few moments, but this is like a heads up display. I mean, for some of you who've been in Isagenix for a while, let's say you start 3 cleansers in one week, 3 new people on a cleanse. How do you know what they're doing? I mean, you can call them, right? I mean, hey Susie, how you doing? Da da da. Are you taking your products? How's it going? Da da da. And then you hang up the phone. You try to reach the other person, playing phone tag. It's real laborious. But when you look at the team roster, you know exactly what products they're taking. Are they on course with their products? Are they staying engaged with their products? And in an instant, you know who to work with, both in encouraging them and then motivating them to even engage further. Then there's leaderboards where we have competition and teams competing against teams and individuals against individuals and friends against friends. And so for those people who really like competition, the leaderboards really bring that element to play. And then we have e-learning, and we're adding a lot of really cool stuff to our e-learning, our online learning platform. One thing that we have found over time is that those people who really get the DNA and the passion of what these products can do and really understand it, at least at a basic fundamental level, have tremendously more success. Last night, I was at a meeting, I was talking to Deborah on the phone, but I got up after I got off the phone with you, Deborah, and they wanted me to share about Isagenix. I got up and shared about telomeres, and when telomeres shorten, bad things happen, and so, being educated on the product, they were just, oh my gosh, they were throwing business cards at me at the end of the meeting because I was able to explain to them, at least at a fundamental level, about the product and about the business opportunity. And our e-learning platforms will really help you do that as well. Then there's social media, and I love social media. Guys, that's where community is created. That's where we really begin to develop a strong sense of our team and a strong sense of what's happening. It helps us work together more strategically. So social media, and you'll see that in just a moment, is really powerful. I want to share very quickly an acronym by what I mean by game. It's the fit and fun game, right? It's about getting fit, it's about having fun, and it's a game. And games are all about getting attention and motivating engagement. We get attention because it's so easy to say, hey, come play a game with me. Last night at that meeting, I said, guys, imagine playing a game. And this is how I use it. I say, how many of you have tried to lose weight and failed? And of course, I'm looking at the people. I can bellies hanging over, belts and all kinds of stuff. This is a no-brainer question, right? They all raise their hands. I say, how frustrating is that? Oh, that's frustrating. Well, what if we built a game around it that actually kept you motivated and engaged with the process and you competed with others? You should have seen their eyes get big. That's such a different concept that it gains people's attention right out of the get-go. They get super excited about the concept of playing a game around weight loss because it's something new. And something new will give people hope where they've had hope deferred in the past, where they've tried and failed. So games get people's attention, but then when they get involved in it, as you'll see in just a minute with the scorecards and the leaderboards and the social media and all of that, it really motivates them to stay engaged long term and produce phenomenal results. In essence, the game amplifies your results and empowers you to really take it to the next level. And I love what Dale Carnegie says about motivation. He says it this way: the only way under high heaven to get anyone to do anything is to get them to want to do it themselves. And the way that we get people to want to engage in a behavior modification, and guys, getting people changing in the way they eat, the way they bring nutrients into their body, is a major behavior modification under most circumstances. And so the best way to get people to want to do that is to have them want to do it themselves. Well, how do we do that? How do we get that level of motivations? One of the ways we can motivate people is games. Instead of them thinking, okay, I'm going to go home, I'm going to diet by myself, I'm going to fail like I did just last time, just like I did last time by myself, blah, 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 and they get all up in their story, they now have a new story. I'm going to play a game. I'm going to win. I'm not going to let my team down. I'm going to make sure I get my points. And all of these wild things happen. I love the story that Lisa Vanderspek shared about playing this game back in the early winter, right? You'll see in the scorecard here in just a minute, one of the things is to exercise 30 minutes a day. That doesn't mean you're like doing P90X and pull-ups, chin-ups, one-handed handstands and crazy gladiator workouts, even though you can, and I do P90X and love it. We've got people that just simply walk around the block for 30 minutes. Well, it was cold, raining. You guys all know this up in Washington State. She wakes up about 9:30 at night. She just laid her head down to go to bed, and wham, she realized she didn't get her exercise in for the day. And her and another team were just like neck and neck. Her team and another team were neck and neck. And she was like, oh my gosh, there is no way I'm going to go to bed and not get those bonus points for exercising. So literally, she got up and ran around her house for 30 minutes. Those types of motivations motivate people to change their behaviors, to actually do what John Anderson and the formulators of this program asked them to do, which is take the nutrients in timed and order sequence, and it takes people to new heights in what they're able to accomplish because they're doing it as a team. It's like climbing a mountain. Very few people climb alone. They climb with a team. Why? The team motivates each other higher and higher and higher. And it's a great way to really make it happen. And so that's one of the reasons why we use games, because they tap deep intrinsic drivers, motivators that cause and drive people to make certain decisions. People will decide to do more for themselves playing a game because they want to compete. And those drivers of competing and winning go all the way back to like school when you were in the gym playing like war ball, right? Or you wanted to be, the top student in school. I mean, we are so ingrained in this culture to win, to compete, and to level up that as we apply that dynamic, that incentive to our whole program, it produces phenomenal results. And so we're going to jump out here for a second, and I'm going to show you the portal, and I'm going to show you how in putting scorecards and leaderboards and rosters and e-learning and all of these tools around the products, the opportunity, and the training of Isagenix, how that can make a phenomenal difference. But first, I'm going to unmute, see if you guys have any questions before we jump out to the portal itself. So let's take a pause here for just a second. So what we've done here is just lay a quick foundation for why games are important and how it can really help you grow your business. And guys, we are seeing phenomenal growth in teams who are using games because, again, it's that path, it's that plan, it's the way that you go out and actually get involved. And one of the great things about the Fit Fun game is it's free to play. One of the things we really wanted was for you not to have to ask your new cleansers or your new team members to give their credit card again, right? They've already locked down $145, $280, $300, $400, $500, whatever products that you got them on. Even though we're talking $9.97 to play, if you want to play a second Beyond game, there's always that second buy decision. So it's literally free to play, just like you see on your screen right here. And people can sign up with their Facebook or they can sign up with their email in a matter of seconds. Okay, and we don't spam their Facebook. There's not like all of a sudden we're going to start putting stuff on people's Facebook just because they signed up with that. Now, when you sign up, and most of you on the webinar have already, established your Fit Fun Game site, you get your own domain name. fitfungame.net/Kyle is mine. For example, I have kylenewton.isagenix.com. That's my little slice of the isagenix.com website. Well, you get a little slice of the Fit Fun Game website where on it you can put your picture, which is automatically brought in if you use Facebook. It tells you when you join the game, what your membership type is, where you're from. You can actually customize your own profile, where you can write a little bio, and I strongly encourage you to update your bio and tell everybody about yourself and why you're playing the game and why you joined Isagenix. It also shows your points. Now, you guys will start off with 0 points, right? You haven't played any games yet, but as you play games, as you accrue points, it doesn't happen real time. We update points about 3 or 4 times a day, but 3 or 4 times a day, you'll see your points starting to accrue over there. Why is that important? Points are going to be real valuable to you moving forward because you'll be able to redeem them for some really cool stuff like training, coaching, products, things like that in the future. So every time you play a game, every time you accrue points, you actually are building kind of a bank account for the future. As well, of course, points lets us know which teams and which individuals are in the lead. And then the e-learning certificates. Every time you graduate from an e-learning course, you get a little certificate. And we're adding more and more e-learning courses as we go along. Products about how to, courses about how to build your business, courses about the products, those kind of things. So you can amass as many e-learning certificates as you want. Then there's trophies. And I've played, 9 games so far. So each time you play and complete a game, you get a trophy, and you literally have a trophy room. You can show off your trophies each time you play. And guys, these things may seem small, but I'm telling you, these little status symbols, it's just like, for example, I came home with my Crystal Executive, crystal that I got walking across the stage, and my family's like, ooh, at lunch the other day, and I'm sitting here looking at it. And as I was talking to Kirk about it, he goes, you know what? My Crystal Executive Award is sitting right on my desk, and I look at it each and every day. And the beautiful thing about awards and recognition is it motivates us, right? It incentivizes us to take an activity. Now, one of the challenges with direct sales, and Isagenix is a direct sales company, is that most of the incentives are a little bit further down the road. They don't start pouring on you day one, right? To be a Crystal executive, right? You got to recruit 5 people on your left, 1 person on your right, do it within your 6 months, all being active within the same calendar month, and only a small percentage, people ever achieve that. 17% or less of the Isagenix associates ever achieve that rank. Matter of fact, I think it's 6%. I think is what Kirk told me. Actually ever achieve Crystal Executive. So you make it into a small arena. That means 94% of the people who join Isagenix never reach that status rank. And of course, you get a little recognition and a $50 bonus when you make consultant, which is a little bit more now that they changed the comp plan to our favor. Hallelujah. But some of those ranks take a while. So when you're playing games, the first time you complete a game, you get a trophy, right? And it's free. It's awesome. And so it begins to give the new person that sense of accomplishment early on in the game. Moving on down here on the left-hand side, you have all of your friends listing, much like you see in other social media platforms. You have your teams that you're playing on, where it shows you all of your teams, and then you have your albums. You can put pictures up there, before and after pictures, and all of that. This site, and you'll see this more and more as we move forward, is actually geared for you to prospect with because it has some really cool tools and features in it as well. Things like when you send people to look at a video on this website, it texts you to let you know that they visited the video. When they're done watching the video, it'll send you an email. Did they watch the video? Did they complete the video? And so there's some really cool stuff here that you'll want to use this website to actually prospect with. And we have a lot of great videos over here. Stuff about the 100-pound club for people that you're talking to who are looking to lose weight. When you're talking to athletes, we have things about peak performance and Willie Gault and all the different fitness advisors that are part of this company. We have testimonies, literally people who've been through a 28-day game and day 2, day 4, day 6 results that they're producing. And then we do these really cool game updates, which we're going to start next week as well, where we get online, we interview players and all of that. So when people come out here, they like, wow, there's a lot going on. I mean, you can see it here, scrolling down, the most recent game activity, people posting scores, people completing games, people commenting on the social media wall. It's a very active portal that when you send your new team members here, like, wow, I want to be part of this. I want to play on a team. So let's go ahead and log in and take a look at how easy this is to do. So let's take a step back for a second. When you send new people here, they can sign up with Facebook in a matter of minutes, or they can just simply pop in their email address, sign up in a matter of minutes, no credit card required. And then once they sign up, it takes them directly to their login, and they log in for the first time. Now, you won't see this here, but the first time you sign up and log in, there's a little 2-minute video that welcomes you. You can't click on any of the tabs. You can't go anywhere until you actually watch that video. And there's a reason for this. That video is what we call our welcome launch video. And it kind of gives a new player an overview of where to go and what to do next. We try to take the position with the game that maybe the person coming on the game hasn't been introduced to the game very well. So we try to take it from the moment they sign up and at least guide them gently and easily through the process of understanding how to use this technology. Atsuko and I were talking about this prior to us starting the record. All new technology requires a certain amount of learning curve. And we do our best to minimize that learning curve here. And one of the ways we do it is the welcome launch video. You may also know every time you click on a new tab, there's a new short 2 or 3 minute video there introducing what that tab is about, what that tool is about, and how to use it. And I'll go ahead and say for some people that may seem a little frustrating if you're tech savvy and like, well, I can figure this out myself, but realize the overwhelming majority of the population is not tech savvy. And even if you're tech savvy, you're going to be bringing people onto your team that are not. And so when you watch those onboarding videos, even if you say, well, geez, I could have probably figured that out, think about your grandma. Think about someone who's not, maybe as tech savvy as you, and how much that video really makes them feel comfortable, safe to click around, not feeling like they're going to break something, and it gives them kind of a path to follow. So that's one reason why we put those there. And then right here, when you first log in, you come to the dashboard. On the dashboard, the first thing you'd want to do is maybe open up the introduction guide. And the introduction guide just gives you a quick 6-step process on, here's your portal. This is the dashboard. You get one free game. You can play the 11-day or 28-day game for free. If you need more information, watch the game overview video, or read the overview manual. Next thing you need to do is join a team, start playing. And guys, for a large percentage of the people, and we've gotten tons of feedback. I got all kinds of different companies using this technology. Of course, Isagenix has been using it, or teams within Isagenix have been using it since January. Just those videos and this introduction manual is probably enough for 75 to 80% of the population. Probably even, oh, I closed the window. And even upwards of 90% of the people, that's more than enough for them. For others who need more detailed information, there's the game manual, and I'll be completing the game overview video this weekend in preparation for our new games launching on Monday the 29th. For anybody who needs more information, there's a very detailed game manual. It's kind of like a manual you get with an appliance or something else, and it will give you all the details you need to know. But for most people, it's simple enough to join, and when they join, the beautiful thing about it is that there are players and lead players. The way the game is designed is that there's a lead player leading a team. And that lead player leads a team of 3 to 5. It can be it can be 2, it can be 10 if you want, but we recommend 3 to 5 players that play a game. Okay, and in this example, Deborah is leading a game, and I actually happen to be part of that game, and so she actually, or I on her behalf, added myself to the team. But Deborah's our great team leader here. Here you can see her here wearing her great Isagenix colors. But if I click on the team name, the Seattle Thoroughbreds, you're going to see that we've got a team here of about 6 or so players here. And she added all of these people to the team. They didn't even have to do anything. She knew they joined. Kevin and Amy and Ryan and Atsuko, they all joined the portal, and she just clicked join and brought them onto the team. What does that mean? That means that Monday morning, bright and early, when the game starts, and all games start every Monday, and the reason we do that is so that you have time to get your product in. All you'll do is simply click on your scorecard. You'll open up your scorecard. You'll go to the 20. You won't have all of these options because I've played all of these games. I can go back and access older scorecards. But you'll see the 11 Day to Breakthrough Fit and Fun Games, Seattle Thoroughbreds, and now you're on your scorecard. And what you'll do is you'll go and edit scores. Now, I can't edit scores right now because the game has started, but normally has not started and won't start till the 29th, but you can typically click edit scores. So for example, I'll go back to an older scorecard where I can actually edit scores. Once the game starts on Monday, you'll see this edit score box as well, where you can edit your scores. And you simply click edit scores. And I'll zoom in here. And actually the only day it will be showing is Monday. And then on Tuesday it'll show Tuesday, Wednesday it'll show Wednesday, and so forth and so on. You can't advance enter scores. You got to enter them, as the days come along. But what are we taking scores on? Now let me slow down here for a second and really kind of think about this for a second. You're launching people on either a 9-day or a 30-day kit, typically, or some modified pack or kit. They get the product. Hopefully you're confirming they got the product. Hopefully you're doing a call with them, saying, hey, read through the manual, the material that came with the kit, or you sent them your own kind of plan on how to take the products, and then they're kind of on their own. Most organizations, or a lot of the organizations, say call them at day 4, call them at day 2, call them at day 12, and we teach that as well. By the way, this system, let me go ahead and put this caveat right here. This system is never to replace human interaction. What it is to do is to strategically focus when, where, and with whom you communicate with, and diminishing all the kind of the churn and the friction of finding out who you need to talk to. The game really can laser focus you in on cleansing and taking people through the product. And so, for example, you guys will be playing an 11-day game. Hopefully you've got enough product, and if not, Deborah's got an ISA pantry to play the game, right? And you'll log in on Monday. Monday will be a shake day. So, you can do this once a day. Some people enter points 2 or 3 times a day if you're an online kind of person, or you can just do it at the end of the day. You just come through here and click, click, click that you took your accelerator, you took your shake, you had your noon healthy meal, you took your snack, and then you finished off in the PM with a shake. And then you scroll down through here, and I didn't cleanse this particular week, but obviously on Wednesday and Thursday you would click off cleanse days. As you get to day 2 and day 3, or day 3 and 4, you would click off cleanse days. Did you take your cleanse and your AM snack and all of that? Now, with our game, both the 11-day game and the 28-day game, we add other healthy activities. Exercising 30 minutes a day, and we talked about that. That doesn't have to be strenuous exercise. Just at least get up and start walking. Drink your body weight in ounces divided by 2. Get 7 hours of sleep. And guys, you score yourself honestly. Like this night, probably my wife and I were up or something, or I was up working late that night, and so I didn't get my sleep. I didn't get my exercise in on this Sunday, so I didn't give myself the points. I didn't check off on that particular game. And then a transformational habit. And this is really important. There's a habit that we encourage people to adopt or drop. Choose additional habit outside of health and wellness, outside of using the products, that you want to adopt or drop. I want to keep my house clean. I want to keep my inbox uncluttered. I want to stop smoking. I want, whatever it may be, something you want to stop or something you want to adopt. And we have found, research shows, people adopting or dropping habits as part of an overall program produce phenomenal results. So they're tracking that as well. And then there's just team activities, daily communicating with your team member via phone or text, Fit Fun Games social media wall posts, which I'll show you that, my team message, and I'll show you that. These are all things within the system. Daily entering your scores. And then we have a daily call archive, or you can listen to some live calls that we'll be hosting as well and earning additional bonus points for those if you want to attend those. And then there's penalty points, illegally snacking, drinking alcoholic soda for the 11 days. We're going to take that off of the 28-day game, but drinking alcohol during the first 11 days, that's a negative 25 points. And believe it or not, people very adequately and very truthfully self-score themselves. It's really cool to see them do that. And so it's that simple. Once you do this once or twice, entering scores takes 1 to 3 minutes. Doesn't take any time at all to enter your scores throughout the day and to make sure that you're caught up on doing that. Really, really powerful. Now let me show you a couple things real quick, and we'll go a little bit further. And by the way, there's videos that explain a lot of this. For example, on your game tab, it shows all the teams you played on. Now the Deborah Jones Seattle Thoroughbreds will be the only team showing for you. It's an active team, meaning it's going to start on the 29th. Currently, there's 6 players, both total and active, about to play this game. And so you'll access that through the scorecard and a lot of other really great stuff. Couple notes here. There's a My Team wall. So here's the Seattle Thoroughbreds is listed as one of my teams here. If I click on that, we have a My Team wall. Whenever I post something here, it goes out and is emailed to the whole team. So I'll put a post here. We are doing a team webinar. Even as I type this. Let's rock this game on Monday. Okay, and so when I post this comment, not only is it on our private team wall, each one of these team members just got an email saying that. So it's kind of like a group email blast. You can do the same thing for text if you enter in your cell phone under your profile. We can group blast each other. And guys, those daily communications, if you remember the scorecard, it said daily communicating with your team via phone or text. You can send out a text blast. Daily making a My Team post. That would be right here. And then there's a social network for all the people playing on the game. So, here's Hillary Sims. She's playing, her and a couple people are playing a match right now. They're on day 3 or 4 and they're rocking and rolling. So you can come out here and just make a social media post. You can find friends. You can do all that kind of stuff. Now, under the e-learning is where we're going to have a lot of courses. We have daily recorded calls. We have a game for the financial incentives. We have the ISA Dream game, and there's a lot of different games that we have. And so I'll let you go through the rest of the tour of the site just using the videos and whatnot. I want to focus in on one thing that Deborah really wanted us to focus in on, which is there's not just fitness games out here. There are financial games as well, and I'm going to bring up a document here showing the games. Um, yes, Deborah was asking me, can I send her a record, and I definitely will. And so what we have here are different game types. Now, the first game that most people will play is the 11-day breakthrough game, which is built around the 9-day kit. It's free to play. Last 11 days. If someone wants to play another game after that, they can put their credit card in and pay $9.97 a month. Why the $9.97? Guys, as you can see, there's a ton of technology behind this. Takes me and several programmers and customer service people quite a lot of time to manage this thing on a regular basis. And so the fee just goes to do that. But the training and the tool is well worth it. Then there's a 4-week overall health transformation. After a new person goes through a 9-day, and we'll be training you some really creative ways to get them going from a 9-day up to a 28-day, or you may start them on a 30-day kit and they're playing a 28-day game around that. They can play that 28-day game for free. But then there's some financial games, guys. And we started off by saying the Financial Star Level Up game, and I'll show you the scorecard for that in just a moment. And actually, we're going to modify that scorecard before we get to Monday and add some new cool stuff to it. But the Financial Star Level Up game is just that. The way that we start people out on the two fitness games is the way we do it. You don't have to do it this way, but the way I do it, let me put it that way, is I encourage new people that I bring on to bring two or three new people with them, which means I'm hopefully bringing on consultants. I get someone going, I'm saying, gosh, the best way to play this game is bring 2 or 3 people with you. We'll form a team, and I right away work with them to go form their initial team of 2 or 3 players, and then I bring them on. So I'm bringing them on as a consultant, right? And so what we do is hopefully we're bringing on consultants. And so from that point, I'm now leading a team. So basically what we do is you go from being a player of one of these two health games to being a leader, meaning you're raising up consultants, you're leading a team, and you're leveling up to becoming a financial star. So this is a 28-day game that's played. It's a financial game where you're both leading a health game, either 11-day or 28-day game, and you're playing the Financial Star game. And we'll look at that scorecard. And that scorecard is daily checking off activities that will lead you on the course to become a star consultant with Isagenix. If you play that game, if you do those activities, you'd have to just pretty much fall off the horse not to be a star, because you're doing the activities each day that will lead you towards becoming a financial star. Once you play that game and once you become a star consultant, then you have the ability to play the Crystal Executive Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game. And this game is very similar to the Financial Star game. It just ups your time and activity commitment. You go from maybe 15 to 20 minutes a day of commitment. You can see that we ask for the Financial Star game that you commit at least 15 days to the 15 minutes a day to 15 minutes a day to actually use the game, probably another 15, 30 minutes to actually build your business. And then the Crystal Executive is about 60 minutes a day of total business building activity at a minimum. All right. And if you apply those 60 minutes a day, then you're well on your way to moving towards becoming a Crystal Executive Millionaire. Of course, you can exceed those time limits, but those are minimums. And then once you become a Crystal Executive, you can move on to the ISA Dream game. And this is a very cool a dream game built around Marshall Weeder's dream coaching. Many of you might have seen Marshall Weeder at the recent celebration. Kirk Metz and a bunch of our teams are certified dream coaches. And so we really help you hone in on your goals, your dreams, your intentions, and how to go from 1-star to 2-star to 3-star, because at that point, it's no longer about what you do. At that point, it definitely becomes about who you are. And so we work with your becomingness or your beingness to actually level you up at that point. And there's more health games to come in the future. There's more financial games to come in the future. But all of these games lead us in a strategic path and alignment towards creating phenomenal experiences for those people that we're leading through the cleanse, and phenomenal experience for those that are engaging with the financial side of the business as well. So I want to show you currently what the Financial Star level up game scorecard looks like. And again, this scorecard is going to be changing before we get to Monday, because I know Deborah wants some of you, or some of you may want to play a financial game. So at the fundamental level, to play a financial game, the daily activities are make sure you're using the Fit Fun game to lead cleansers and new team members through the process. So did you make a social media wall post that builds connection with your team all at one time? Did you send out a My Team message? Did you enter your scores? Did you attend calls if there was a call that day? Did you friend one new person? Did you check your team roster that they're entering their points? And I'll probably go back and take a look at a roster before we wrap up the webinar today. But that is big, to see how your team is doing and coaching them through the cleanse. And then there's daily team building activities. And we're going to be beefing this up a little bit. Send out an email or connect with a new person about playing the game, i.e. joining your business. A daily social media strategy. We have a social media training guide that teaches you how to use social media to really build your business. And there'll be other things like, making 3 business contacts a day no matter what. Guys, it's not about making 100 contacts in one day, even though if you want to do that, great. It's about constantly making business contacts. So there'll be points around daily business activities that you would want to engage in as a consultant on your way to Star Consultant, and then on your way to Crystal Executive. And then we give you bonus points for constantly building your story, and then bonus points for helping your team build their story. Because guys, stories sell. Compelling evidence, reasons to believe, and dramatic differences lead to powerful referrals and dynamic team growth. And so we capture those stories out here in the before and after pictures and the weight and measurements and all of those great things. And so definitely want to avail yourself of that. And then there's team building bonus points. You did a 3-way call with a team member, 50 points. Help a new person enroll to play, 100 points. Team member enroll to 2 new people to play, 200 points. Help a team member lead a team, on and on and on. There's all of these powerful incentives to get people playing and actually engaging with the business side of it all. And that's the Financial Star Level Up game. The Crystal Executive game is very similar, just a little bit more activities, because you're investing more time, more focus into what you're doing. I'm going to wrap up the tour here by showing you a roster and why the rosters are so important. And I'll take a look at this one. Hopefully this is a good one. Let's see what this roster looks like. Yeah, I'll use a different one. I'll use, let me go back here. I'm going to show you what a team roster looks like. When you enter your scores each day, all right, you're entering your scores. It takes 1 to 3 minutes. But then what you want to do is come out to your team roster. And I'm going to zoom into this. This is a team that's already played and completed, and it incorporated myself and Belma, Margie, and Elizabeth. And you may see on your screen, it shows how many points each person has accumulated, and it shows the number of days. So Belma and I, by having 11 days, means we entered in all 11 days, meaning we recorded scores. We took the product, i.e., all 11 days. Now, Margie only entered in 9 days. And then Elizabeth entered in 11 days but had very low scores. All right, and you'll notice that there's also pounds and inches. There's a place to track privately. No one knows what your beginning and ending weight was, but they know how many pounds and inches you released. That's all being tracked and celebrated out here as well. But looking at the roster each day lets you know who to encourage. So if we were at day 10 or so and I saw Margie was still back on day 9, I could visit her social media wall, send her encouragement. I could look at Belma's score, who's got up here around 1,520 points, and celebrate with her by visiting her social media wall. And with Elizabeth, I could jump out here and you can click on their scorecard. I could see what points she's accruing. Well, she's doing great taking the product. Basically what happened is she didn't interact with the team very much on her team bonus activities, but she did a great job on her health bonus activities and a great job taking the product. So I would probably just send her an encouragement and tell her about the value of playing as a team. And so all I'd have to do is click visit her wall, and it's going to take me to the social media wall directly to her profile, and I can start typing right here and putting a post, or I could send it privately to her inbox by sending her a message. Boom, just like that. So in summary, I hope you guys are seeing the power of the game, the power that it gives you, and actually coaching someone through a cleanse And then as they begin to have results, they can begin to refer people to play the game with them. And what are they doing? They're building the business. What are you doing? You're moving on to be a lead player, which qualifies you to play the Financial Star, level up game as a lead player. Now you're playing that game and you're moving yourself along one step at a time, having that clear path to follow, that clear direction in building your business. And remember, we started this conversation off talking about building a business via a system, having some way, some path, some way to direct people on what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And building a business without giving a person a path is dangerous. People just kind of wander out there. They don't know really what to do and what to do next. Now you're not part of the 95%, right? Now you're part of the 5% of the direct sales industry and the Isagenix Corporation that has an answer to what do I do now? Now that you've given birth, right? Now that you've enrolled a new person, now what? Now what is the answer? And the Fit Fun game is the answer to that question. Now what? Get them playing the game, get them engaged and cleansing and having phenomenal results. And what you will see over time is that the Fit Fun game is totally going to amplify your results, your income, and what's possible in playing this game and leveling up in your business. So with that, I want to pause the recording here. I'm going to open up for some questions and answers, and we'll go from there.